Has the secretary to the board gone to the reception area to invite any members of the public who wish to attend today's meeting to come to this conference room?
Yes, I have.
I call this meeting of the Board of Acquisition and Contract for February 21st, 2019 to order. Will the secretary please call the roll?
Mr. Jenkins?
Here.
Ms. Williams? Here. Mr. Sullivan?
Here. I note for the record the receipt and filing of the secret review prepared by the Planning Department for today's meeting and the minutes of last week's meeting. I understand the Budget Director wishes to make a motion.
I do. I move to add item 24 on base ID 67911, which is a resolution authorizing the County of Westchester to enter into a contract number 18-534 for emergency roof rehabilitation, Volunteers of America Shelter, Valhalla Campus, Valhalla, New York, with NUA Construction Corp., 750 Sawmill River Road, Ardsley, New York, in the amount of $232,000 with the following approved subcontractors: Connolly & Son Construction, Inc., doing business as 24/7 Lifting, and Mackey Heating, LLC, and Somerset Electric, Inc.
Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes. The secretary shall add item 24 to the agenda. Unless there is any objection, I move the board consider agenda items 1 through 24. And the floor is open, Madam Vice Chair, for discussion of agenda items by members of the board. Madam Chair, let me do this, because again, we did hear additional information, and I certainly want to give the Vice Chair, the Board of Legislators, opportunity to speak on the Wheeler-Breda contract. Madam Vice Chair.
I'd like to hold item number 67761. I'd like to hold it over for more time to review the answers to the questions that we posed previously.
Understood. Is there a second to the motion?
Seconded.
All right. We're going to not hold over this item, so a vote yes would be to hold over the item, and a vote no would be to keep it on the agenda.
Right.
So all in favor of the motion of holding over could
Yes.
say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Opposed. The motion is defeated. Now, while we're on a conversation on this particular item, the Wheeler-Breda contract was added as an added starter for last week's meeting on February 14th. The Board of Legislators, pursuant to its authority, was able to hold over the contract. The contract has a due date. The contract expires in October 2019. However, the terms and conditions of the contract are that we have to provide 1 year in advance to do this, so the contract was delayed. There was an expectation that we were going to be able to have an understanding with the Board of Legislators to ask whatever questions that there were subsequent to the hold of the Wheeler-Breda contract at last week's meeting. That we did not receive questions until basically last night, this morning. So last night, Mr. Casciato, on behalf of the Board of Legislators, requested that we withdraw the motion for the Wheeler-Breda contract because the Board of Legislators had already held it over one time. We did subsequently yesterday evening get the questions from Chairman Boykin, and we were able to submit those to to Commissioner Kopicki, who's on vacation, and ask him to respond to those questions last night, and he got those this morning, and we got those back to the board. Under County Executive Latimer's administration, it's been different than in the past, where the legislature has the ability to contact the department directly and have meetings with that. I understand Legislator Shimsky was on vacation last week, who's one of the chairs of the committee, and she had some specific questions that we were able to do. The Department of Environmental Facilities will be happy to come down, Madam Vice Chair, to discuss any of these items on the questions that the Board of Legislators had. In general, the questions were able to be answered. They weren't showstopper questions. But again, we have a deadline by the end of the month, this month, that we've got an extension to deal with the Wheeler-Breda contract. And again, it's a $17 million savings over a 10-year period, and it has some things in it that the Board of Legislators, I think, will be extremely pleased about some different opportunities in being able to cut out about 50,000 tons of food waste. So for whether it's the food waste recycling that the Board of Legislators has talked about, and certainly Peter McCart from our office up here has been working hard together. So understood with that item, Madam Chair. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd like to sever the item.
Okay, understood. We can sever the item. I'll do that just in a motion.
I move.
Okay.
Seconded.
And second, so we're going to sever item number 1.
Absolutely.
Yes, ma'am. All in favor could do so by saying aye?
Aye.
Aye? No problem. All right. Are there any other discussion items? So, unless there's any objection, I move a vote on agenda item 1 only. Is there a second for that motion?
Seconded.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
No.
opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. The ayes have it. I move a vote to approve agenda items 2 through 24.
Seconded.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? I understand the budget, the motion passes. I understand the budget director wishes to speak.
Yes, I do. The members of the Board of Acquisition and Contract received a memo from the Commissioner of Public Works and Transportation declaring the need for an emergency contract to address personnel shortages at the county's central heating plant on the Valhalla campus. The memo states as follows, and I apologize in advance for the lengthiness of this memo here, but I'm told I have to read it in its entirety.
Yes, you do.
So the County Department of Public Works and Transportation operates a central heating plant, the CHP, which services over 800,000 square foot correctional facility and Woodfield Cottage juvenile detention buildings, a county public labs and research building, and the 3 million square foot hospital, Westchester Medical Center, as well as various other facilities operated by the Department of Public Safety, Public Works, Emergency Services on the Valhalla campus. These all operate on a 24/7 basis, requiring steam energy from the CHP, which has 4 Babcock's and Wilcox boilers, 1986 vintage, having a rated output of 2,200 horsepower each. I'm assuming that's horsepower. Most winter days, we are running 2 boilers to keep up with demand, and at times as many as 3 are needed. Even in the off-season summer, we must run at least 1 boiler to provide steam for the various domestic hot water heaters, autoclave sterilizers, laundry rooms, and kitchens at the various locations, including air conditioning units at the hospital. We supply steam at a pressure of 125 pounds per square inch and at a temperature of 325 degrees Fahrenheit. This energy is distributed throughout a system of underground tunnels and pipes. The boilers are dual fuel with natural gas as the primary, and number 2 fuel oil can be used as the backup during the times that Con Edison curtails our use of natural gas. In cold weather, on number 2 fuel, we can consume as much as 23,000 gallons in a 24-hour period. Our fuel consumption costs for the CHP exceed $3 million per year. Most smaller scale commercial boilers produce either hot water or low pressure steam less than 15 psi. To put our plant in perspective, the steam supplied by Con Edison to various locations in Manhattan is delivered at virtually the same temperature and pressure as our plant. Accordingly, given the massive size of the CHP and the vital nature of the facilities which depend upon this plant, it must be constantly in operation and monitored. It has become increasingly difficult to utilize the current system of staffing the CHP with in-house heating plant operators around the clock. Multiple long-term efforts over the past year by the Department of Human Resources and Public Works and Transportation, such as raising the job pay grades along with repeated widespread advertising, have been undertaken to no avail. No suitable candidates were found. Even looking outside the tri-state area and our heating plant operator, vacancies have increased due to resignations and retirements. We cannot sustain the CHP operations with the present complement of people, and a recent employee's long-term injury further exacerbates the situation. Similarly, chasing down leads to find multiple private companies that are interested in operating but not owning a high-pressure steam plant have also been spectacularly unsuccessful. only one firm, Amoresco, Inc. of Framingham, Mass., has the interest and the resources to assist with the operation of our facility. Accordingly, we are currently diligently negotiating with them to supply the county with qualified individuals in this highly specialized field on an immediate basis to operate the CHP. Because of the scarcity of these operators, the plan is to ramp up the number of CHP operators using contract personnel so as to initially supplement our in-house skeleton staff currently on double shift overtime, with Amoresco staff gradually assuming more day-to-day responsibility. The alternatives of curtailing operation of the CHP or letting it run overnight with an on-site operator are irresponsible and unacceptable. The Department of Public Works and Transportation hereby declares this to be an emergency situation which must be alleviated by the issuance of a contract for a period not to exceed 6 months and total amount of not to exceed $600,000. As an emergency, this situation cannot await competitive bidding. The department, following its standard emergency contract protocols, has selected the firm of Amoresco, Inc. to perform high-pressure steam boiler plant operations. The Department of Public Works and Transportation is working with great haste to finalize the terms of the contract with Amoresco and will submit a resolution to your honorable board requesting approval of the pertinent contract as soon as possible.
That was wonderful. Thank you,
Thank
Director
you.
Sol.
That's a lot of information there.
All right. I direct the Secretary to the Board of Acquisition and Contract to include the memo from the Commissioner of Public Works and Transportation as part of the minutes of today's meeting. In addition, it should be noted that we did receive communication from the Civil Service Employees Association, CSEA, regarding this specific item where President Pecora was supporting the need to get additional personnel under the emergency resolution since the staff are working on double shifts overtime, which could be an unsafe condition for the employees. Thank you so much. And we are in the midst of a current project at the steam facility. I think it's $14 million
That's right, with NIPA.
with NIPA for that particular plant. And I'm sure that the Board of Legislators got an update on that. I don't know exactly where it is from a process perspective, but we need to continue that work. Unless there's any other matters to be discussed, I'll have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Seconded?
Aye.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
It's
I don't know if
okay.
you were asking for a motion, if you made a
I
motion.
did. Yes, so motion and
I
seconded.
should've
Thank
made the
you.
motion,
Thank you,
sorry.
Madam Vice Chair. All right, and with that, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, thank you so much, and really appreciate everyone making adjustments for the time today for the things that we have going on.